Hi, one of SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Right now we're going to take a look at the MVC in college basketball as of February 15th. And the first team to look at in the MVC, of course, is Wichita State. Wichita State had been dominating the conference as usual, both straight up and against the spread for most of the season until 3 games ago. Wichita State had covered 11 out of 12 games, but over their last 3 games, they suffered 2 straight up losses, each one as a double-digit favorite. But then in between those 2 losses, they sandwiched a blowout win over Drake, where they got a comfortable cover as a huge road favorite. So looking ahead, it's not exactly clear what to expect from Wichita State. They'll be getting a ton of respect with their lines, of course, and they could easily falter again against the spread against the better teams that they're going to be facing. They might be vulnerable for an ATS loss at home against Illinois State on the 27th. Then they might also be a good bet, even as a big favorite at home against Missouri State on the 18th, and then again on the road against Loyola Chicago on the 24th. The hottest team, though, as a bet in the conference right now is pretty clearly Northern Iowa. They've covered their last 6 games in a row, and they were one of the teams that got an outright win over Wichita State as a big underdog. A lot of those covers, other than the Wichita State game, were pretty close, but I still have 3 upcoming games of theirs circled where I think they're more likely than not to cover at least 2. On the road at Loyola Chicago on the 17th, at home against Indiana State on the 24th, and then on the road at Evansville on the 27th. All 3 of those teams have actually been pretty solid ATS recently, but Northern Iowa is looking like they're going to be reliable as a bet, and the spots for those 3 games just might all favor Northern Iowa at least a little bit. And then Illinois State and Southern Illinois are 2 of the other top teams in the conference, and each of those teams has one other game where I'm going to be thinking about playing on them, both coming against teams that have particularly struggled on the road. Illinois State plays Indiana State on the 17th, and Indiana State has lost 5 in a row against the spread overall, as well as 5 in a row against the spread on the road. And after starting off the year as a great bet, the line for that game might not be too high, and Illinois State may wind up being a side with value as just a modest home favorite. And then Southern Illinois plays Missouri State on the 27th, and Missouri State's looking like the kind of team that handles bad teams well, but then tends to get overmatched when they go on the road against top teams. And we may see something like that again in this one against Southern Illinois, where Missouri State might lose comfortably against the spread, even as a big road underdog. And let's look at the MVC from an ATS perspective as of February 15th.